Okay. So the preparation is going to be for your pre-sent interview, and you're going to be preparing all of your medical information, personal ID, all of this. Your attorney, hopefully, has itemized for you to begin to gather for them. And so let's make this smaller. Okay. So medical, you're going to need to put together complete copies of your medical history from all of your physicians. If you have a detailed medical history, it's got to be all of your office notes, treatment plans from your doctors, copies of all of their phone numbers, addresses, email, websites, all surgery reports, copies of the pathology reports to go along with that, all of their contact information, copies of all diagnostic tests, which is X-rays, CT scans, MRI, ultrasounds, EKG, EEGs, PET scans. Get them on CD and flash drives where available. You want to get copies of all of your blood tests. You want everything, prescriptions for everything. That includes medical devices, CPAPs, BiPAPs, eyeglasses, orthotics, medications, canes, crutches, wheelchairs, diabetic shoes, prosthetics. If in fact, you have issues with your feet, if you have tendon tears in your feet, if you have problems with your shoulder, your knee, hip, any other joints that would inhibit you from climbing ladders, or doing any sort of running or heavy lifting. This is important. If it requires you going into a soft shoe that would keep you out of a hard steel-toed boot, all of these need to be documented specifically with letters from your medical providers, be it osteopathy, medical or medical doctor, osteopathic doctor, or podiatry doctor, or chiropractic doctor, because that will affect whether you can, you're able to have a lower bunk. If you have tinnitus, that's going to keep you from an upper bunk. If you have a torn Achilles tendon or Achilles tendon repair, that's going to keep you from an upper bunk. If you have if you get, if you have problems where you get dizzy once in a while, that's going to keep you from climbing a ladder. It's going to keep you from climbing into an upper bunk. If you have a history of it where you've had a hip replacement, shoulder replacement, knee replacement, that's going to keep you from getting into an upper bunk. CPAP will have you in a lower bunk, etc. You want to have copies of your highest educational level achieved, because if you don't, even if you're a physicist and you don't have copies of your highest educational level, they're going to make you get your GED. Copies of your military service, highest branch, highest level in the military, your branch, rank, and discharge type. Character letters are letters regarding your character. There are not letters from people asking for the judge to grant you this, saying don't go to prison. If you have letters, these are letters from people that have known you a long time. If you have an employment letter where someone says that they know that you're going to prison, but because of your character and your skill, that they were willing to hire you after you get out, that's a big letter. I mean, it's a very big letter to have. I did not have that letter. I had someone willing to hire me, but I did not have that letter. And this can be, all of this can be in video file format, either professionally or it could be done on a smartphone. Again, with medical, I've gone through this, medical devices, eyeglasses, all of that. If you get into prison and you need an extra prescription eyeglasses, there's an authorization form you can ask from your case manager or counselor to receive packages, but they have to come directly from the doctor, not from home. If you're pregnant, there are places where, depending on how long or how much time you have left on your sentence, that you can go to. Greenbrier is a great place to go for, I believe, I forget how many months left, but let me see if I can click on this and it will tell me. Let's see. Greenbrier, no. Okay, no. In West Virginia, no. Okay, so that was a loss leader. And there's a place in Washington State also that will have a place where you can go for several years. I do have it though. This is available on in my website, which is a better link than Facebook. For diabetics, insoles are more important than, you can get diabetic shoes and you can come in with them. You need to have the prescription, but it's more important for you to come for getting insoles to wear in your shoes, because those friction forces are what cause ulcers. Also, the steel within the boot that you have to wear, that's something you need to bring up to your podiatrist or to your endocrinologist or to your physician that is treating you, because the steel toe boot can rub against your toes, and it's not a good thing to have, be a diabetic and be wearing those steel toe boots. You're better off in a sneaker, and then, working around a place where it's not going to cause you any problems. So all of this is important to have documented before you go into your pre-sentence interview. Medications. I'm assuming that you have already taken the BOP formulary list or their drug list from online and noted that your medications are on formulary and available, because the BOP also has formulary called non-formulary, which means they carry it, but it's not available. They don't want to give it to you. And if that is what if this is where your medications are listed, that's it. Could be an 18-month wait to get your medications. You need to take that list into your physician and see if there's medications that are on the formulary part that are immediately available to you. If not, or if the medications are just not available, and this possibly is a life-threatening issue, then you need to have you need to have the doctor speak with your attorney and then communicate with the BOP regional attorney before your sentencing hearing. And here is the list of the BOP regional attorneys. You can see from where you're located. Hopefully this comes up, right? So it's got it by region from where you're going to be. And so just note where these regions are. And then that attorney needs to come with you into the sentencing hearing. But if the medication is on formula immediately or available, note that there are many manufacturers that make the same drug. Different manufacturers make the same drug. So they may vary in size, shape, or color. It's the same medication. It just may appear differently. Last, we all wish COVID is gone. It's not, and it's going to be here for a while. And so there are several points I'd like to make here. One, if you are diagnosed as a post-COVID long hauler, well, then there's no prison, state or federal or jail that's going to be able to provide the care needed long term. It's just not available. And so, you need to either contact me, your attorney, your physician, because if it's documented, it just requires a variety of medical specialties, and none of the federal medical centers are prepared to provide that type of care, both in staffing and in a variety of equipment needed, because chances are you're not able to get out of bed every day. Second is that, like influenza, that kills around 12,000 people a year. Well, from COVID, about 100,000 or more people are going to die a year. So if you're going to show up and you have been vaccinated from COVID, then come in with your vaccination card, both sides copied. If you have the influenza or the flu vaccine, the same goes. Come in with a copy of the vaccine. If they're going to offer the vaccine in prison, it's up to you, whether you get it or not. But just know that greater than 100,000 people are going to die from COVID every year in the US, and a much larger number worldwide. Because you're living in a petri dish, which the prison is something like that, kind of like a cruise ship, you're on top of each other, you're going to have a higher percentage of that 100,000 a year pass away. So this is just an FYI for those of you who are in prison. I hope that you found this helpful. This is the last, I think it's a 5 or 6 PowerPoint series. And I'm grateful for you taking the time out of your busy day to listen to these to these PowerPoint presentations. And have a good day and stay safe.